most of the question actually revolves around this portion of Torah of Korach. You know, I don't know if you know the story, but we are, as you know, with a list of levels of unresolved, untreated issues or degrees, residue in this template of Israel and everyone that wish to be Israel. So we had rising the problem in relation to the land of Israel, which means into why do we need to enter or to rise into Atzilut in order to actually be reformed? Why can't we be helped and reformed in our place, meaning in our state? So why do we need to enter a place which demands from us actually to go above and beyond the reason and and everything that we understand? And we had the comparison analysis of the mind, which actually wish to sort of obtain, one can say, to hold and to obtain the way that spirituality had to actually take over corporality and the impatience that belongs to it. So it has to do with our attitude towards Torah, our attitude towards Israel, our attitude towards Israel itself, meaning this congregation of intention and forms of spirit in service. And actually Korach brings up the issue of choice. Actually, it's a question, do we believe that there was a choice in spirit, in the branch of the physical center, and was there a choice in Moses as the leader of the process or the giver of Torah? And actually Korach contests that. So the controversy of Korach and his community and his people and everything that God does seemed to be like what the spies said about Israel. On face value, it seems to be a very good question and a very legitimate question. So let's listen and hear what has been asked by Korach and the response of Moses. Okay, so I'm looking at chapter 16 in the book of Numbers, portion of Korach. Is chapter 16, verse 1. It's called, now, Korach, the son of Itzhar, the son of Kahat, the son of Levi, and Datan, and Aviram, the sons of Oliav, and On, it's a name, On, son of Pelet, all sons of Reuven took men, and that they gathered. Now, it is in the Hebrew. It says that Korach took, and Zohar would ask what he took, and he would answer, he took bad advice. Now, advice is not only, as we think, something that is been given to us as a guideline. Advice in Hebrew, in the constitution of the word, has to do with the two actions of the light of Torah. One is called giving advices, mainly giving the vessel. And one is called pikudin, meaning giving the light to the measurement of that vessel. So when the Zohar is saying that Korach took bad advice, we can take it on face value, meaning that he listened to something that would lead him astray or lead him to his doom. But it says something deeper than that. He took upon himself a vessel or a need that actually will not promote what we spoke about. It is, he chose to take a vessel from the left side, meaning for oneself, more than to actually take the advice of a vessel that can actually can evolve into bestowal, a vessel of bestowal. So in the two letters of Korach, Vaikach Korach, okay, Korach took, okay, there are two things. First, in how do you actually take? You say, in the Hebrew, it has in it the law that can engrave in you. From what he took it from his name. Okay. Now the name Korach, in English, does not make any sense, but in Hebrew, it's as well speak about something frozen, ice. Okay. If he took from his name that which is frozen, the vessel which is frozen, if we know a bit about the way that the left side is extending itself, the left side, when it extends itself from Bina, it is full of wisdom, but all the light are frozen in it. They cannot actually go or extend or expand itself because it's frozen. Yeah. We usually think about water as frozen, but think about something that is freezing the light from extending and enlightening. Yeah. So actually, in the two first words, actually we are being guided into what is going here to happen. And this is what the Zohar said, that he actually wished that the left side will overcome the right side. Meaning that the way the Malchut, or the spirit, without the process of diminishing itself, will actually get or overrule everything that has to do with the right. So there will be no process of reformation. And we will hear now how actually he justified the claim. So it is said, that all those people that he collected as well and took with himself, Korach, Datan v'Aviram, which were small people, one can say, and 250 people of Levi. Okay. And they rose up before Moses with certain of the children of Israel, 250 princes of the assembly, famous in the congregation, men of renown. They were men of name, one can say. This is how it's said. To be a man of name, it means to come from Malchut, to come from the left side, because they are Levi. The priesthood come from the right side, Levi come from the left side. Though they are from the same origin, yeah. But in a way, they separate themselves into different services, different ways of serving the same purpose. But then they have to be happy, satisfied, grateful for their part in service. But they're saying, no, priesthood seems to us to be to do more with holiness, to do more with, it is more important. In our eyes, it is more important than our service. Okay. So they're saying, and they gather themselves together against Moses and against Aaron, and said unto them. Now this we need to listen very carefully. You took too much upon you, seeing that all the congregation are holy, every one of them, and the Lord is among them. Actually, they're saying in them. Whereupon, why actually? Then you lift up yourself above the congregation of the Lord. So they're using the card of holiness. Everyone of the congregation were in the baptism of light on Mount Sinai, when they stood there all together. They were promised that if they would agree to be the means and ways, and the vessel or the tool in which the Creator can fulfill its purpose in human spirits, they will become a kingdom of priests and holy people. And then he's saying, they're saying, if there is the presence of the Lord amongst ourselves, we are all, each one is holy. So why there is a hierarchy of service or of holiness? Why actually you're more important than us? This is a typical 21st century claim, okay, to holiness. Okay, so one can say that this is what actually Korach is saying. Now, the reason and the motive, the inner motive of Korach is very much to do with himself. So when we say, okay, we can separate the self motivation of Korach. Okay, he's saying, actually he's asking why not to start with myself, if myself is holy. Now, there is a confusion here. Is the individual holy? Or holiness is not to do with the individual. Holiness is to do with the affiliation to the divinity, to the origin. In the origin, the nation or the template of Israel is holy. Actually, all spirits are holy. But as an individual, holiness depends on the process of what, let's say, human can do. Human can purify itself. It's being sanctified by the higher, not by itself. It's being sanctified but by the affiliation to the holiness of divinity, not by what is actually in it or in the person. So it will be so when at the end of the Reformation, Gmar Tikkun, in the world to come, when everyone will know, everyone will know God naturally. Naturally, existence and being, reality and actuality, or let's say actuality will actually overcome or extend itself to reality, and then let's say all reality will be sanctified in that respect. But till then, in the Reformation time, there is hierarchies. Specifically when we speak about giving Torah, because giving Torah, you give to a need. You give to an effort of needing to actually come closer, to be able to actually justify the choice. They're actually saying that Moses appointed himself, he was not chosen. They're saying that Aaron it's a nepotism because he's the brother of Moses, was not actually chosen by the Lord to serve, but it's a sort of a personal decision, or an interest of Moses to appoint his family into service. Though we know from the story that Moses did not want actually this mission. But okay, Korach is saying, okay, before the giving of Torah, I could say that this is a choice. What after? After giving of Torah, when we were all there, why actually you continue to lead us? Well, actually, the mere question suggests why Moses needed to continue to lead them. Okay? But let's say that one is saying that at that moment, Moses is falling on his face, meaning he wishes to give back his spirit to the Lord and allow him to deal with, let's say, to do a reorganization. But then there need to be a proof of choice. And those who wish to serve it as priests, which are not actually able or fit, or they need to actually do something else, but they wish not to do what they need to do, but to do something that someone else is doing because it seems to them more important. It's as though there is a new order that says that the choice, or as Baal HaSulam will say, that when we start at Shita Alfei Shanim, when we start to actually paint or draw the congregation of spirits and the, let's say, the function to each other, it's like painting something with dots. Some dot is higher than others, some is on the right, some is on the left, some is in the middle. Only at the end, when all dots are connected, meaning that all personal spirit actually made the connection to others, or allowed the connection of others to the meaning of all the flower, then when we have a picture of one flower which has no up and down, right and left in terms of position of importance. It's always sort of part of this, but this is at the world to come. But on the process of reformation, we do need the hierarchy. We do need the difference of ability to serve. But after Korach, we do not forget, or there is a reminder through Korach, that actually in the root of it and in the end of it, we are all holy. But on the way, there is a work of purification, and everyone who is running after that which does not belong to his service, he will lose his service, that which he had, and definitely will not find that which does not belong to him or her. Okay? So the portion of Korach is quite amazing in terms that there is a very deep controversy, but actually it's to remind us the question of holiness. Not that we will give it up, that we will remember the root of it, that we will remember the aspiration for it, and that we will know that on the Reformation time, we need always to find that which is being offered to us, to find in it the service that is being called at the time that is being called, in the way it appears in us. Okay. So this I wanted to sort of pass on. It's part of all that is being one can say risen in the desert, meaning it's from in a state of being on one hand isolated from all that noise and recruitment of the will to receive to oneself, and yet it's an experimental tube of actually forming a template of spirits that will be able actually to bestow their state, or that holiness will be able to stream through them to all human spirits. So it's a way of understanding that Korach was perceived differently and in different epochs. Okay? It was actually, let's say, the generation that thought that Korach is bringing a very crucial question to the table was the time of the appearance of Hasidut and the time of the last generation of Hasidut. They're saying that the question of what actually can we call holy, and how can we relate, or how can we actually ask sanctity or sacredness or holiness to extend itself to us, to our state. So I'd like to go with you to Zohar. We don't have, unless you have any questions so far. Oh, yeah.
Do you want?
When we go on reading this portion of Torah, of Korach, and after they were swallowed by the earth and even burned, and then what I understand is that God asks that their incensers are being taken to be put on the altar as part of the altar. So I wonder, what does this tell us about, like, how does this make sense?
First, it makes sense from the point of view that everything that we perceive as being as punishment is actually reformation. Okay. The two things. First, I would like to speak about being swallowed and being by the earth and being burned. Actually, those who wanted to work with the incense, which is a very, let's say, delicate, or a more delicate work of ascending, of sending oneself, the alchemy of sending oneself higher. But you're not sending yourself higher as just as a result of something burning. It's a result of all that is good, and good incense in terms of good smell, which means good faith. So you're rising up with a sense of allowing a satisfaction for higher. So you will please the higher. This is the work of actually the incense. Okay. But because they cannot actually, what it means to rise up, they want, like Nadav and Avihu, to be burned on the altar of spirituality. That is not acceptable, because the choice is, I gave you death and life. Choose life. Yeah. This is what we spoke then of Isaac getting down from the altar. Okay. So they're actually getting what they want. They're being burned. Okay. This was their wish. So they reform through and a very deep acceptance and learning of the fact that you want to join and be burned, when it's not, when actually you are not fit, you're not causing wellness or what is satisfaction, or in the higher. You're actually causing disruption and pain. And being swallowed by air is like, it is said that the land opened its mouth. Yeah. So what is the mouth of the earth? Okay. Mouth of the earth, it means that what was revealed was Malchut without its mitigation or sweetening by Bina. And they were sort of swollen back by Bina. This will to receive for oneself was swallowed or engulfed by Adama, which means with that quality of Bina that is actually hiding Malchut and giving her the ability to actually have any kind of relationship with the light, because the relationship of Malchut with the light is through the dress or through the qualities of Bina, Tzimtzum Bet. Okay, so this is their formation. So what we see as a punishment is actually the new chance, because we know that one of the things that Korach actually, which was let's say a man with an inspiration or with the presence of prophecy, he could see that from him will come one of the greatest prophet of Israel, which is Shmuel. Yeah, Shmuel is one that many generations goes back to Korach. Now, what Shmuel is doing? Shmuel actually is coming into a period where he demolishes the priesthood because it's being corrupted. Yeah, he's demolishing. He does not, at least in the beginning, does not wish or does not grant Israel wish for a king. He actually abolished the center of gravity of the tabernacle, which was in Shiloh, and he's saying there is no center. So actually he's doing sort of demolishing all hierarchies, and in order to start sort of democratization completely of the act. So even he's not standing in one place, he's going around and around. So we're speaking about going around, we're speaking about what Korach is seeing is that the world of the circle, world of Malchut, as a circle, not as a line, because in the line you have hierarchy. So it's always a preference of the circle. Yeah? So actually we see here a controversy between the circle and the line. And what Korach is seeing, that there will be time that Shmuel will actually cause the domination of the circle. But what he does not see is actually that it is for a time being, in order to build a new line. Because in spite of himself, actually Shmuel has to announce and to anoint the first king in Israel, which is Shaul. Okay, and has to bring. But for a few years, there was a need of actually demolishing all lines of hierarchy. And there is time for this from time to time, when something is being corrupted or something is being all that was even in hierarchy is not the right time. We cannot keep the old order because it needs something new. So it is very modern in its in its affiliation to actually do something that need to actually abolish everything that was sort of in hierarchy before, even in relation to Torah, in relation to ourselves, in relation to spirit, in relation to sanctity, and rebuild it. Okay. So we do, Kabbalah in a way is rebuilding the line from a state of a circle. Everyone can join. Yeah. If before it was the order of 40 years, only if you knew very well all the history of Talmudic and Mefarshim and Tosfot and everything, then no. Everyone that has a point in the heart, it doesn't matter what is written in his identity. If there is a point in the heart, he can join from the circle to form the new line. So this is why I'm saying that the sensitivity of Korach, if we separate it from his wish for honor and respect, is a legitimate question at times. Well, yeah, there are certain periods where this is needed, and it is called, it's time to do, because they've broken your Torah. They've broken the good order of the template of Torah. So we need to rebuild it, and we see it in the first gathering of the Hydra. And this is how actually Baal HaSulam is starting all his writing. That is time to do. And time to do is first sort of abolishing all what was held as merit or privilege before. Okay. So this is important to see, and it is important as well to listen to the Zohar in terms of how we can read it as an instruction for work. Okay. Actually, yeah. Okay. It's in Zohar, chapter 7, page 241. I'll just read it to you. It speaks about whatever your hand finds to do it with your strength. So just to sort of open it, whatever your hand finds to do, Zohar explained it because we don't have much time. I'll just open it as everything that it has to do with the effort of our will, that which we can invest from ourselves. Do it with your strength, the strength you're not getting from yourself. The strength is being given to you from the higher if your wish or the vessel of need in you is aiming or has the right intention towards the light, okay? Or towards God, or towards the other, or towards the ecology that you are in. Okay? So this is actually how Zohar is taking us into understanding what comes out, or what we can learn from this portion of Korach. Okay.